So I'm getting ready to go to sleep. As y'all can see, pajamas on, all that good stuff, right? And I want, of course, right, we're gonna have talk about it on the show tomorrow. Talk about today's game, talk about what we saw, what we didn't see. And the kind of conversation that I would love to have with regard to where we're at in the Caleb Williams, whole scheme of this. And I think, in this offense as a whole, bad game for Caleb. Can you have the conversation of Caleb Williams playing poorly, last 2 weeks, 100%, needing to improve, without it being the end of the world? I'm done. I don't want to be a part of it. And I'm not. Some people may feel that way. Some people may not have a belief in Caleb, may not, they think that he's the guy. It may have nothing to do with the whole Justin Fields situation that went on here. That may be a process, a part of the process. But I think for people who are looking at this as Caleb has had a much better season than what we saw last season, it has played better, has gotten his sack numbers down, has improved his game, a lot this season based off of where he was last season. And to me, the conversation you have is that Caleb has played poorly these last couple weeks, but that doesn't mean that he can't get better. And I think people are looking to run to give up on this kid. And I hate seeing and hearing that around the city, because I think you got a young man who, at the end of a game where he played absolutely terrible, you saw a guy who, even though things went poorly, he didn't completely fold under pressure, still tried to make some big plays at the end of the game. I think there's some play calling things that we'll talk about on the Morning Breeze tomorrow that play into this. Didn't lose his confidence. And I think that people are not prepared to go through the process of what developing a quarterback is. Now, if you want to complain about the whole generational tag, this guy was supposed to be generational. It was supposed to just, you put him in there and everything was fixed. I don't think that's ever the case with quarterbacks. I think that your hope right now is that he could be the franchise quarterback for this team, and that one day he could become, one of those top guys. I would say look around the NFL right now and see some of these people who have given up on quarterbacks way too early. You look at what Baker's doing down in Tampa right now. You think Kevin Stefanski wishes he had held on to him after, basically, what was it, 1 year with him, or maybe two with Baker? Look at the development that Sam Darnold is showing. Look at the development that, heck, how many quarterbacks around the league are Jared Goff right now? Even some of the development that he had after his time in LA. Like, to me, I think that's what the conversation should be about. And you hope that, this season, Caleb turns into that guy. But I think that Ben Johnson doesn't come here if it's not to work with Caleb Williams, to develop Caleb Williams, to go through the ups and downs of what that's going to be. And let's be honest, to develop this offense, we could sit here and point fingers. And now that there was a loss, right? Of course, y'all know how this go. When somebody loses, the loudest voices in the room are always going to be, whoever has a leg to stand on that week. The last 4 weeks of winning, I guess maybe last week people were a little bit louder, but for the most part, right? 3 or 4 weeks of winning, no one's been shouting the demonizations of Caleb Williams. I said the same thing when Justin Fields was here. I said the same thing when Mitch Trubisky was here. To me, I think you have to put these guys in positions to develop. And it feels like Caleb Williams is getting in one of those positions to develop here. That doesn't mean it happens overnight. Ben Johnson is asking these guys to do a lot. I think that there's growth that you can see from that game. I thought that check that turns into a touchdown where you see DeAndre Swift on the left side there, and it wasn't a touchdown, it just turned to a play to put you really close in the red zone. That was Caleb Williams identifying what the defense was based on some of the pre-snap motions, making a really good check there, throws it to Swift, stays composed under pressure with the defender getting in his face. Those are things for you to hang your hat on if you're talking about the development of a quarterback. On the flip side of that, there were bad decisions made today. And I think, you have to go through the ups and downs of that when developing a quarterback. And my favorite thing with all of it is like, I talked about how people begged for Ben Johnson to come here and do what he did with Jared Goff. He's doing it. And the difference is you weren't watching the 1-5 or 1-6 that they got to when they were losing. Because nobody was, because they were the Lions. But when you go through and you watch those games, you look at that tape, you see up and down quarterback play, see up and down offensive play. You see an offense that it took some time to figure it out, to put together. Very similar to what we were, except they were 1-5. We're 4-3 right now. So I get it. We live in this world where we want everything to be Madden and you want to flip a switch and it works. I would love for that to be the situation with Caleb Williams. It's just not. And it's not the situation with this offense as a whole. It's not the situation with the false starts. It's not the situation with, the illegal procedures, all of the penalties that continue to plague this team. Like right now, and Ben Johnson has said it the entire time, we have not been a perfect team. We've just been able to find ways to overcome that. So I would hope the conversation tomorrow, for people that are actually willing to have conversation and just don't want to shout their points to the sky, could be that a young man is giving his all at the end of games where he's not playing well, but he's still going out there and trying to compete for your city. He's still going out there and he's trying to win for the city. He's still going out there and he's trying to make plays. Big play to DJ Moore at the end of the day, whether, you put that more on DJ or more on Caleb, like that was a heck of a throw, probably a better catch than a throw. But standing out there, taking a shot on that play, putting that ball in the air, fighting through the pain to finish that game out and tried to finish it strong. Don't come away with a touchdown there. Would love to see, what you could have done if there's some better clock management from Ben Johnson on that as well. And earlier in the game, I thought the timeout calls were up and down. But, to me, the big thing that you want to see is a team that is finding a way to learn from their mistakes. And right now, we haven't seen enough of that. We have seen it, but we have not seen enough of that. And I would hope the conversation tomorrow can be, this is a team that has to take its lumps, has to take its bumps and bruises, but that we do see development. Because if you can't tell me that this is better than what we had last season, then again, you're one of the people that just want to yell at the sun. Like, this is night and day, clearly better than what we had last season. So, I was sitting down here looking at some of the tape and stuff like that, and just felt like saying that, coming on the channel and dropping that. I'm finna go to bed because Morning Breeze tomorrow will be live at 7 a.m. So tap in with us on that. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love. As always, it's your boy Pat the Designer back at it again. Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. Bed down, one love. Bears take the L so we can find a way to get a dub tomorrow, next week. Peace.